Alright, we've started. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome to Working Title.
Working Title, yet again, coming back at you. I seem to have worked out, at least most of the way, the audio issues that we were facing last time, so fingers crossed.
We don't sound all canny this time.
Yeah. But on the subject of that, it seems we've been getting, decent views again.
Yeah, it's been going back up. I mean, there's been the natural ebb and flow that happens whenever you post content.
Even flow.
The even flow. It may not be a heavy flow, but it's a very even flow.
You fat, bald bastard. Alright. So we're here to talk about wrestling today.
Yeah, I was very into WWE from a very, very young age. And it's never exactly gone away entirely. I don't keep up as much as I used to, but I'm still relatively interested, and I like the history of wrestling and whatnot. And I dragged you into it towards the end of my, excursion with wrestling. I got you to be a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
With, like, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk.
Oh, yeah. Right before, I think, CM Punk left is whenever I actually started being into wrestling.
It wasn't a bad era. I mean, that was some fun stuff to watch there.
Was that pre-PG era? Or
that was PG era.
Okay.
That was PG era. It wasn't, like, the worst, but it was pretty tame. Other than things like the Nexus, where it was kind of weird, where they came in and destroyed the whole...
And then Super Cena fucking leveled them.
That is an easy rant that I could go on.
Because what? Ryback was part of the Nexus. Wade Barrett.
A
handful of other people.
Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater and David Otunga.
Oh, yeah, that's right!
And Daniel Bryan was part of it as a youngin', and...
All of these people who would go on to see varying levels of success. I remember David Otunga.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty confident that he was.
I remember him. I remember... Shit. You said Justin Gabriel was in it, right?
Yeah, it was... I remember
that.
There was Wade Barrett, David Otunga, Ryback, Heath Slater, Darren Young, and... Justin Gabriel, and then Michael Tarver, who I don't know.
And then John Cena killed them all in the ring.
Okay, they had this whole push where they ran around and they destroy the ring, they beat up referees, they'd take out anyone in their path, they took out everybody. And as they were being built into this real, fearmonger, John Cena single-handedly wiped out the Nexus and immediately killed that entire push.
I think that's really funny. Because, the whole thing is John Cena is supposed to be... Well, obviously, these days they have the joke of Super Cena. Or at least back in my day they
actually did. Have a video. He ended up winning this.
Yep.
He won that.
That's incredible.
But one memory of the Nexus that sit very fresh in my mind was, I believe it was Wade Barrett versus John Cena in the TLC match. They were at the TLC pay-per-view, and John Cena fucked him up towards the beginning of the ramp, and then there were strings of chairs hanging from the ceiling, and he pulled them down and just crushed them.
What the fuck?
It was just a string hanging, and it looked like they just taped chairs to that string. And then John Cena pulled it from the roof, and it just fell.
Dude,
and
tables,
crushed
ladders,
him.
and chairs was some of the best shit.
One of my favorite moments ever was that triple threat tag team match between the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and I think it was Edge and Christian. When Edge speared Jeff Hardy off of, he was hanging from the belt. And Edge jumped off the ladder and speared him off.
Didn't that fuck up Jeff Hardy really bad?
I'm sure it did. That probably didn't help with...
Too many drugs.
Probably after that. After busting his ass, he probably, yeah. But, I don't know, it's hard to talk about wrestling as a broad topic because of the eras. Mm-hmm. There was the beginning era, and there was, the Hogan era,
Yeah,
and the
early,
Attitude era,
WrestleMania days, and then Attitude era.
Attitude era, then the end of the Attitude era, like the Ruthless Aggression era is what it was called when John Cena first came in, and it was...
He was a white rapper guy.
That was before that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right before that, he was just like a wrestler, and his
Still
whole thing...
wearing jorts?
No, his whole thing was Ruthless Aggression, and he wore short shorts. But, and then it went into just the more PG stuff towards the 2010s. I think it's crazy. There are actually more people in the Nexus that weren't on the original thing that I read. But I know
just like randos.
Titus O'Neil was there.
Oh shit!
Husky Harris, who ended up being Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah!
Jason Ryan, who's just a big boy. Michael McGillicuddy, who ended up being Curtis Axel. And then Skip Sheffield, who I don't know. But there was a lot of dudes.
It was wild.
Most of them didn't end up being anything.
I didn't even know that many people were there, bro.
There was a lot of people. CM Punk was there at a time. CM Punk started the new Nexus.
I remember the Shield was like what you felt like the Nexus should have been.
Yeah, because they just ran through and they didn't get bent over.
Yeah, the Shield stomped people. Okay. They jumped people and stuff. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, and it was fun. Until they got broken up for the whole storyline that I didn't really like about the Authority.
Oh, yeah.
Triple H and stuff, and then Seth Rollins joining.
And then they because Seth Rollins was a big heel for a while. And then eventually it became Roman, right? The Roman Empire and everything?
Well, Roman's like still the biggest talk of the WWE.
Because they tried to push him babyface, and it really wasn't working.
No, and then they switched him to heel, which worked for a bit really well. And then he's
like domineering over the Usos and stuff, right?
Yeah, now he's tribal chief, the Usos and Sami Zayn. That's actually what they're.
He's tribal chief. That feels offensive.
There's some it doesn't matter.
Oh, they're all the same, aren't they?
Then the new Nexus, which is when some of them branched off to follow CM Punk instead of Wade Barrett.
They formed the CM Punk cult.
And then, off of that, was the Core.
Oh, I think I remember the Core.
And the Core was Justin Gabriel, Ezekiel Jackson, Wade Barrett, and Heath Slater. And that was I remember that not working.
Dude, do you remember the Wyatt family?
Oh yeah, dude.
Was it Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Bray Wyatt, and then Braun Strowman eventually.
Braun Strowman, yeah. But the Wyatt family they had a strange history. But Luke Harper, you know about him passing away, right?
Yeah.
That was really sad. That
was a bummer.
I really liked him.
The whole thing that they had going was really cool. I like their aesthetic.
That song came on and they started waddling out and you're like, oh my god. Kind of creepy.
It was pretty sick.
It was pretty wild. And then Bray Wyatt became the Fiend and got lit on fire.
Bray Wyatt became John Slipknot.
John Slipknot, indeed. But I mean, that's kind of what I grew up watching, was 2000s to 2010s, which was a lot of like 2011, 2010.
It's like late PG era to like post PG era.
Like from 2009 on, I was really, really into it.
Yeah.
So that's why the Nexus were so fresh in my brain, and John Cena was such a big thing to me.
We stopped watching wrestling right after we stopped having cable, right? Something like that.
I mean, I think we stopped watching in 2018.
Yeah, a while ago for sure.
It was a while ago that we stopped like religiously watching it. Every once in a while, me and some of my friends would.
Now it's hard to catch back up.
Yeah, we're so far gone, and I don't understand it.
I want to give AEW a try because I know that people have been talking to no end about how good it's been.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some bits and pieces of it. I never got all the way.
Oh, there he is. Yep, he was on fire.
They got lit on fire, and the Fiend got lit on fire, and it didn't really matter. It was really stupid, honestly.
I forgot. They had the bootleg Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss, that was her whole thing.
And she was the Fiend's
the Fiend's
cohort.
Little lady.
And they had a kids show together.
Yeah, the Butterfly
Fuck time.
The Firefly Funhouse or something like that. I don't the fucking rabid dog on the screen.
And then Simon What Culture comes up. And he says, "I'm going to bench press Alexa Bliss."
And then he throws her through the fucking ceiling.
Over the head throw. Yeah. Oh, I should probably take a second to explain what's going on here for the background.
Oh, yeah.
One of our favorite bits is, who is this again?
That's Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett and Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett was just he was a guitar-wielding heel in the 90s and 2000s, and he, his whole thing was kind of just that he was an asshole, and he hit people with guitars.
Listen up, slap nuts.
He'd break them over their head.
That's what his shirt says.
And Beat was, this is like the height of his popularity.
Is he wearing a cape that says The Howard Stern Show?
I'm not sure what that, but it was like the height of his fame before it came back recently. And he was on WWE, and he called Jeff Jarrett slapnuts, and then he got smacked in the head with a guitar. But I really like it. It's so funny. And it's Vader time. I mean, I guess if you're listening to this and don't know who Vader is, then he was just a very large bald man.
He's a very large. He wore a silly mask.
Yeah, and he kind of
beat the shit out of people.
He walked through all the divisions till he got to the WWE, and then Shawn Michaels didn't like him because he was dumb, and then he kind of got his whole push was stopped from then. Like, he became a mid-card wrestler, no longer a main eventer, because he kept messing things up with Shawn Michaels, who in the 90s was a complete fucking wreck. Everyone
Shawn
hated
Michaels,
working with him.
Yeah, didn't he used to be an ass?
He was just a complete douchebag. Like, he'd get people fired, but he was so popular that he had so much power.
The Heartbreak Kid.
And I mean, in all fairness, he was one of the most talented guys in the ring, but also was just an absolute prick. And a lot of people didn't like him.
I'm not your boy toy.
Kinda
I'm just
weird.
a sexy boy.
His whole thing was just being hot.
Yeah.
Like his Intercontinental
and
ladder match with Razor Ramon.
Who did he get really tight with? Was it Triple H?
For DX?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H with Generation X, and X-Pac was there.
X-Pac,
and then
that's
Billy
right,
Gunn and Road Dogg were there. You know, the Ass Man. But, I mean, DX obviously was a really, really fun time that I wasn't even there for, which makes me kind of sad. I was just too young. I was there for the second coming of D-Generation X in the 2010s when they thought it was just a good idea. Actually, it might have been more like 2009.
Let's bring the name back, guys.
And it was funny. I mean, it was okay. It was a little... It seemed like they were trying to...
Retread old ground.
They're trying to recapture something that they didn't have anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't not entertaining. That's when they went to, like, they were beating on Hornswoggle, and they went to court under the wrestling ring. Like, they climbed under, and there was a courtroom with, like, a midget jury and a midget judge. No! And they sat there and went to midget court.
That's aged horribly.
Yeah, that's what happened.
They used to have a bit where Hornswoggle would be under the ring sometimes. He would hand out weapons.
He's a funny little man. A funny little fella.
Is it Hornswoggle?
He was Finley's son.
Finley's son, yep.
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up. That's fucking wild.
Finley's son, just because they're both...
Angry Irishman.
And then, actually, I think it came out in a storyline that he was Vince McMahon's long-lost son.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And then...
That shit was whack.
So those are two storylines that just became Hornswoggle because they had nothing better to do?
They were
you remember
like,
the anonymous
right,
Raw? You remember the anonymous Raw GM where, like, at the random time during the event, there's a computer sitting beside Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, and like the lights would flash in the arena and the sound would play, and then Michael Cole would get up and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have an official announcement from the unanimous Raw general manager," and it'll open it up. And the whole thing was this guy was an ass. He put in these weird, crazy storylines that didn't make sense and make people fight that didn't make sense. And then at the end of the whole storyline, it was revealed that the whole time the general manager was Hornswoggle.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
And he was under the ring on his computer.
I don't remember. I think I might remember that, maybe.
But
I was going to say I don't, but then that sounds like something that very much could have happened.
That was the Santino Marella and the Jerry fighting Michael Cole era, so there's just a lot of dumb shit going on in that era.
Vince McMahon had his head up his ass that time.
And that was when the young impressionable me was very satisfied
that
with
was right before Stephanie and Triple H took over, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of in charge for a while, but just now they actually took over. Because Vince McMahon left and he got into some trouble. But,
he went to the XFL. He says, I'm putting all my time into this. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll and football!
Then he makes Black Adam one of the owners of the whole thing. I'll watch it when it starts.
Oh, God.
I don't know what team I'm going to go for. Probably the Washington Cucks or whatever they're going to be.
I really hope that they... have you heard of the game? I think it's called The League. I can't remember what it's...
Blitz?
Yes.
Blitz the League?
Yeah, where you can juice your players and stuff.
Juice them
I've been saying this for years. That's what Vince should make his football league like.
You can button mash to injure them.
Yeah, you should be able to let them break each other's spines and stuff.
I've been rooting for a version of the UFC where you can actually just use steroids and it's okay.
I really think that would be in everyone's best interest.
It's like an even playing field. If you all get to use steroids, then no one's really cheating.
If everyone's super, no one is.
Exactly. That's how I want my UFC to be.
That's the ideal. It's the ideal format, isn't it?
Because then you get to see the absolute juiced to the gills fucking roid machines.
Yeah, that's what they should do. They should have two divisions. One where it's normal people who train. And the one where it's just crazy steroid addicts who beat each other to death with bricks.
That's how you raise a whole generation of Chris Benoits. Where you feed them steroids and brain damage until they kill their family.
That's fucked up.
It's unfortunate, but that's how those are made.
Grooming into sociopaths.
Brain damage and roid rage, that's how you create a murderer.
It's like... fuck.
I mean, there's plenty of proof of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's themselves or their family and themselves, it's really just whoever they can get their hands on. And it's unfortunate, but...
Listen, I'm sure Vince McMahon, if he did it once, he'll do it again, damn it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He made him so much money. People tuning in to see how WWE was going to react.
Oh, yeah.
How much money he made off of being like, yep.
It's just big old Vince cackling in his chair.
He's like, guys, fucking, no. Idiot. He got caught.
I hit him in the head with a hammer while he was sleeping until he had enough brain damage to go AWOL.
Yeah, we raised him in the basement. I actually gave birth to him. I shook him every time he woke up. I created a rage baby.
I fed him steroid-laced milk to grow him strong and young.
I fed that kid meth and roids until he grew into a fucking monster.
Every day I would put him in a pen with a chimpanzee until he won.
That's why we called him the rabid Wolverine or something like that was his nickname. It's because he ate people and fought things to the death every day.
I almost dropped my laptop.
Fucking laptop. He almost threw the laptop at the dog.
Eat shit, Lucy.
Freddy Five Night. That was a good scare.
How would you feel if they started if you were watching, if they started, the WWE started getting real desperate, so they had, cross promotions, where it was, Fortnite, and for a limited time, people from, other shit would show up, So like, there's going to be an event where the lights would turn off, and then you just hear do 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 do, and then the jump scare noise plays in the middle of the stage as the animatronics.
The animatronics walk down to the ring.
Oh God! It's Freddy Five Nights!
And then they stuff someone into an animatronic suit.
Jesus Christ, he's dead!
It's full of ground beef. So when the guy gets into the ground beef, starts spilling out of the holes. By God! By God! He's gotta be dead!
He's gotta be dead!
Let him die! He's gotta die!
Stop prolonging his suffering!
Let him go! JR is just promoting that.
They bring him back.
By God, let him die! Bring him back, let him die again.
I would love it so much if they brought JR back.
Just to promote the Five Nights at Freddy's crossover. Freddy comes out, he does the Orange Justice, and then he shoves Heath Slater into an animatronic suit.
They have a special event where it's like Among Us.
Who's the imposter?
That's for the crowd has to find out. And whoever figures it out and gets it right and calls in, they get $1 million.
Finally, like, oh dude, it's Titus O'Neil. They set him in the middle of the ring and they feed him to the rest of the roster. They fill the roster up. They're like, we found the imposter, guys, and they start beating the shit out of him in the ring,
ripping him apart. Help! Ah!
He was sus. I don't know what to tell you.
We had to eject him.
Had to eject him. He was sus.
They
all grab an arm and they throw him up through the ceiling.
They pay to have like a spaceship put in orbit and fly all of these wrestlers up there.
He's playing on the Jumbotron via satellite.
Yeah, exactly. And they say one of these guys is the imposter.
And then they just vote.
You guys have to figure it out.
They all just vote.
The crowd votes them off.
Can vote online.
They get shot into space.
You have to sit in the capsule. Then it releases them. And you see them explode.
Sheamus gets ejected. Ah!
They fucking explode.
You see him shoot out and they like freeze.
And then John Cena's the last one there.
John Cena suplexes the spacecraft back to Earth.
You realize the whole time that none of the voting options were John Cena, but he was on the ship because Vince doesn't want him to lose.
So he just goes through. He goes through. He power bombs everybody to death.
Then he fights himself.
Punches
but he can't see him, so he just goes back to Earth. He grabs the rocket and he throws it down.
No, he says, "Guys, the imposter must be somewhere here, but the only person here is me." So he hits the eject button.
He does the right thing. You know, hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Yeah.
He ejects himself.
He salutes, and then he shoots himself out into space. They say he might still be out there.
He plummets back into orbit, back onto Earth, right into a Make-A-Wish room. Just in time for a kid to come out and see him. For his
and he's like
day.
a bunch of bones. He's like a skeleton.
But his bones look like you can't see me.
Like a Halloween skeleton.
He's just sitting there.
He says, I need a break for a minute.
He walks
into the other room. He plucks his nose and he goes...
He blows real hard and his skin
blows
comes
his skin back on. It's like Dr. Manhattan. He like puts his palms out and he levitates for a second and all of his skin reformats.
And the kid's standing like, oh!
The kid has to go through therapy.
John Cena looks at him and is like, you saw nothing. And then he hops out of the window.
Lick my balls.
He said lick my balls. John Cena looked at the Make-A-Wish kid and said, lick my balls. I could see it.
Oh,
He's that kind of guy. I wish like Brock Lesnar would go to a Make-A-Wish kid and he's like suplex city, just throws that kid around.
Didn't he throw it? Wasn't it a thing? No, it was Randy Orton, right? Who threw a crippled kid down the stairs?
What?
And the kid in a wheelchair?
Oh, yeah, that was some. It was like.
It was one of the heels.
Yeah, it was.
It was hilarious.
It was on WWE. I doubt it was.
Yeah, it was like no, it wasn't real.
But it was some. It was probably some
I'm sure in real life...
Randy Orton was probably the one. Oh, yeah, it was Randy Orton that pushed the kid down the stairs.
I'm sure in real life, at least Brock Lesnar is a good guy. I don't know. I don't know about the Randy Orton guy.
I think Brock Lesnar would suplex a kid with cancer. I think he would.
He says, don't worry, I'll get it out of you!
And he just power bombs the kid. And the tumors shoot out the front. That's how hard
he catches them. He squishes them in his bare hands.
Just ground and pounding the tumors into the ground. See, I agree with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is waging a war against cancer, and I wholeheartedly agree with his tactics.
That would be insane.
He F5s tumors. That's what he does. He's in the ring, and he has a guy that's wearing a purple skin suit that says cancer across the front. And he just beats the shit out of this guy for 30 minutes.
Can you imagine if they thought that was a good idea?
They're like, see what Brock's doing for the world? And there's just this man. He thought he was going to be a mascot or something.
Hey, it's me, guys!
He's going to hit stiff.
Brock Lesnar
stiff
F5s him 3 times in a row.
It's just been stiff shot after stiff shot. Dropped him on his head, punched him in the face.
And then they have the entire roster come out and they curb stomp this guy.
Curb stomp.
It's like they all go into the ring. He's in the middle. And he scrapes out to the edge to the ropes, and he goes to reach, and then they drag him back in.
Grab him by the top of the head.
I'm feeling romantical.
I'm feeling romantical. And he pulls him back into the middle of the ring, and everyone's circles
Didn't they used to call him Love Chocolate?
Sexual Chocolate.
Sexual Chocolate. Yeah. That's even worse.
Sexual Chocolate was his name. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Then he became the world's strongest man.
What a 180.
He pulled semi-trucks.
Yep. Jesus. What a day, what a day. What an era, what an hour. What a time to be alive. Sexual Chocolate.
Sexual
Unbelievable.
Chocolate, yeah. He was a good guy, man. I wonder how Mark Henry's faring nowadays.
I don't know, does he still wrestle?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Who else is a name that you're just I haven't seen him in a while? Rob Van Dam. I'm sure he's doing fine.
He wrestled in 2016.
I think he just stopped smoking weed.
He came back in 2016. Actually, I saw him on Instagram, and he just had every Instagram video is him in a hot tub with a bunch of half naked chicks twerking on him, and he has a blunt in his mouth.
All right, so he sounds like he's making it pretty good.
Oh yeah, he's having a great time.
Do you think does the WWE still sell action figures of him and shit? Is he getting those royalties?
Yeah, I think he still has action figures.
Shit.
Or at least they're still selling old action figures. I don't know if they're still making them, but they're still selling them. They're still making money off of his likeness.
Yeah, he's rolling in the dough, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Rob Van Dam, real G.
Hey man, he was the king of ECW. He was just the guy. He was as hardcore as they get. Him and Sabu.
Wasn't that Tommy Dreamer was there too, right?
Yeah, and the Sandman.
Oh yes!
I think Snitsky was there too.
Sandman.
Snitsky's whole thing was I think something about he killed a baby. On accident. I think he fell on a pregnant woman. And his whole thing became "It's not my fault" was his catchphrase. And then he had this promo where he punt kicked a baby doll into the crowd.
That's some wild shit, bro. Oh man.
There were some storylines, man. I couldn't even name all the ridiculous ones that I remember seeing.
Do you remember the fucking Boogeyman?
The Boogeyman was great. Came out eating worms.
Yeah.
Or that one time where John
Cena
went to
clock
interview
around
him.
his neck.
John Cena went to interview him, and then he came out and he looked traumatized, and then Booker T just looked at him and said something. I don't remember what he said. It was something strange.
Did the Boogeyman eat worms? He even ate worms in his entrance. And he did so willingly.
Yeah, he ate worms. They're real worms.
He's been married to the same woman since 84.
How do you marry the Boogeyman? I mean, he's a good looking guy. Takes the face paint off, he's just a very muscular, spooky man. What about Viscera? What about Big Daddy V?
Melissa George.
Is she hot?
There's no images.
Come here, little lady. What are you doing?
Oh, there's Viscera. There's Hornswoggle.
Yeah, dude, Big Daddy V, Viscera. That was something. They just pushed him to the roof, and then he hurt Kevin Nash really bad. He had this move where you'd lay on your belly, and he'd stand over you, and then he'd just kick his legs out and sit on your lower back.
Oh my god, how much did he weigh?
He was like 500 pounds.
Yeah, it says 487 pounds. He was 6'9".
Yeah, and he'd just sit on you.
Oh, fucking monster.
He'd just kick his legs out and land ass first on your tailbone, and he hurt.
Remember, not to forget Rikishi's signature move.
Where he just put his...
Yeah, where he puts his ass in your face.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like Rikishi a lot.
I think it's really funny how he's still a respected member of the business, even though that was his whole gimmick.
Remember whenever he hit Stone Cold with a car? One time Stone Cold got hit with a car, and everyone was trying to figure out who it was. And then it ended up coming out that it was... Like, they had a plan, but the dude they wanted it to be got cut or something like that, along those lines. So they revealed it to be Rikishi, and he's like, I did it for The Rock. And then The Rock made fun of him and beat his ass later on.
Are they related?
They're Samoan. A lot of the Samoan
bloodline
wrestlers are
Rikishi, formerly known as Fatu, and the Sultan, is a wrestler in WWE shows. He's cousin of The Rock, Umaga's brother, and the Usos' father, and Yokozuna's lost cousin. Yeah,
like I'm saying, like that sounded bad whenever I said he's Samoan, but a lot like the Samoan wrestling
like a
bloodline.
Big, exactly. It's a big thing.
They're all related to the crazy Samoans that were around back, like
way
Bruno
back
Sammartino
in the day.
days and stuff. Like that whole bloodline runs back, and they're all somehow related. Like even Roman Reigns, is related to the Squad.
He's all tied in. That's whack.
It's crazy, and I love it. I've never seen a Samoan wrestler in the WWE that I didn't, like. They all had very solid gimmicks.
I'm pretty sure they're in one of the Fast and Furious movies. I think it's called Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. The one with The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yeah.
They go to Samoa, and the Roman Reigns is there, and they have like tribal weapons.
Yeah.
That's a wild thing to put in a movie. I think that The Rock can just like do whatever he wants at this point.
Yeah,
The Rock could kill like 8 people and no one would care.
I'd still vote for him as president if he killed 8 people.
Yeah, someone asked him, "Dude, Mr. The Rock, did you do it?" And he just gives the people's eyebrow. Yeah,
and
everyone goes, "Whoa!"
He's like, it doesn't matter if I did it.
It doesn't matter what you think. And then he rock bottoms them. Yeah.
Jumps the people's elbow on stage. And gives the eyebrow to the rest of the crowd.
It's like some elderly politician.
I think
some member of the press. Yeah. He flexes his Black Adam muscles on him.
Yeah, there's only 2 of those of the Samoan-born wrestlers that had a weird time because Umaga died early. Like he hadn't got to full potential before he passed.
Yeah.
And there's another one that was...
Did they have an imposter Umaga?
Yokozuna, his whole character was being Japanese.
Yeah.
And he is not... No. Never was Japanese. He's just a Samoan dude pretending to be Japanese. And he did a pretty convincing job of it.
Because his whole gimmick was he was a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, he was a Japanese sumo wrestler instead of just being a fat Samoan guy. As if those don't exist. I mean, I'm sure that if you go to any Samoan area, I'm sure that
Samoans are built like fucking semi-trucks,
there are a couple guys that are kind of big.
Like Joe Rogan talks about square-headed diesel.
Yeah, dude.
Samoan babies who run fast.
That's who's going to survive.
Oh!
His bear noises are ridiculous. I don't know if you've heard his bear noise. But his bear noise is way better than the gorilla noise.
Fuck. One of my favorite bits, I think it's called the Joe Rogan podcast condensed to 30 seconds. He's sitting there and he says, they put an actual monetary value on human life. Isn't that crazy? You see that video of that moose getting hit by a truck? Jamie, pull that up.
That's the whole podcast. Like, every episode, it's like, can you believe they put a monetary value on human life?
I need to listen to some of that shit, like, tonight or maybe tomorrow. That's just some of the best stuff.
We're doing inventory at work, which means we're literally just counting everything.
Yeah.
We're counting every individual item that we have, taking a total count. So I'm sure I can listen to plenty JRE tomorrow and Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Friday I have a 10-hour day. Just counting. But I think they're going to give us pizza, so it's okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I think they're going to give us pizza.
God.
Granted, I'd rather cut my fucking legs off.
Yeah, we're starting 12s tomorrow, so I'm gonna have a great time.
It's like, I mean, it's not hard work. But we have, tens of millions of dollars worth of inventory in that building.
You got lots of stuff to count.
And we just have to grab a scanner and look at the count on the inquiry on the gun, and then physically count it, and then compare it to the previous count card that was put under the scan location. They have like a magnet with a barcode on it. Then you stick a little piece of paper under it that has the last recorded count. So it's like 3 different variations of the same count. We still have to do it forever.
How often do you guys have to do inventory?
I think we do it maybe once or twice a year. It's not often.
I know it's not often for most places.
Because I went there in May and we haven't done it until now. But I hate it. It's not wrestling related, but God, I just I'd cut off a finger. I'd trade it for every hour I don't have to be there. 10-hour day, I'd have fucking meat hammers. I think you'd be a great like bare knuckle boxer if you just have palms.
I don't know.
You just come out.
It depends, because whenever you take your fingers away, you're taking the knuckles away, right?
But I'm just coming out with clubs.
Wham wham.
Well, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you go up to the top of your boy,
you should just make it so you just have like stubs.
Well, the joint ends in like the middle of your knuckle, so you'll have like part of a knuckle left.
Yeah,
because like
you had some meat mitts.
I just have meat mitts and I can swing them really hard.
What you should do is
I just break my hand.
You should be like the lobster boy, and you just have like hella grip.
Hella grip? What do you mean, lobster boy?
The kid who had like he was like a freak show, and they called him the lobster boy, and he had he only had 2. His hand was like a thumb mirrored. Like 2 thumbs is basically all his hand was, and he had killer grip strength. He would like strangle people.
I want something to be like jujitsu with that. You just have thumbs, and that's it. 5 thumbs on each hand.
Oh,
how crazy would that be?
Chode hand.
They grab your arm, and you're never getting that shit back.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
Lobster boy. I've never heard of him. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, I don't like that at all. I don't like that. I don't like his hands. I don't like him.
The evil lobster boy.
That makes me so uncomfortable. I don't like his hands. I need chapstick.
Use your butthole.
I don't know if I want to use my butt for chapstick.
You think you would have been good in wrestling?
Wrestling? I don't know. Jiu-jitsu, probably. If you can just lock on to one of your arms, it's a nightmare.
It says he was an American freak show performer and murderer.
Murderer?
Yeah.
He killed people?
Yeah. He would strangle them.
Why? Why'd he do that?
Is that Les Claypool?
Les Claypool and stuff. I want to see Les Claypool, but realistically, he only has two thumbs on each hand.
Let me see. Murder. He was an alcoholic and was abusive to his family. That's fun.
How can you be abusive to your family if you have 2 fingers in your hand?
He used a wheelchair. He used his hands and arms to walk.
What?
Oh my god. He developed substantial upper body strength that, when combined with his bad temper and alcoholism, made him dangerous to others. Holy shit.
Imagine he's crawling around on the ground, he ankle picks you, you fall down, and then he just wraps around you.
It's like the UFC fighter who has
no legs.
An amputee.
Yeah, it's like fighting a crawler.
That's horrifying. That is an advantage.
Okay, the only thing with that guy, I'm proud of him. He's doing great things.
Yeah, I'm not to diminish his accomplishments.
Also, what if you're a Taekwondo guy? Or like if you're a karate guy?
Yeah, you're not allowed to kick him, right?
You can't. He's always grounded, I think. I'm assuming he's always a grounded opponent. So if I can't soccer kick the guy, and I'm a kick. I mean, that's just. Even though it's mixed martial arts, everyone has
kicks.
A specialty.
Yeah.
You have something that you do. Like Daniel Cormier, could strike, but he was a wrestler. Anderson Silva could
yeah.
grapple, but he was a striker. If you put like Lyoto Machida against this guy, he was all about kicks.
Do you think Cupcake could bring him down?
I think Cupcake would just plop straight gut down on his head.
He'd belly flop right on him.
Belly flops, and then he smushes him like a bug. He sprays out on each side.
Little lifts him up and throws him against the cage.
It's like out of a... Like whenever the bus falls on... Was it Shazam?
Yeah.
And he catches it?
Yeah.
It'd be like that. Like DC would fall on him and the little dude would catch him and you just throw him straight up in the air.
Just spin him around on one finger. Some Space Jam shit.
Then he'd like slam him, grab him by the leg and slam him on both sides like the Hulk with Loki. And he'd throw him out of the ring and do a little roll.
So long, Gay Bowser!
So long, Gay Bowser.
Yeah, he grabs him by the legs and swings him around.
How'd he do that? He has no means of spinning around without his arms. He shuffles real fast.
No, he grabs one leg with one arm, and with the other hand, he spins himself.
Oh no! I know what he's winning. He's winning fights.
God, I would hate to fight him. I think he would kick my ass easy.
I mean, he'd pick your ankle.
He wouldn't even have to do that. He could climb up me and then just like rip my head off.
That would be interesting.
That's all it would take.
If he scaled you.
Can you imagine? Yeah, he'd choke me and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
Hang on your back. There's no legs to move. He's just hanging on. You could fall straight backwards, but you just give yourself whiplash.
Whose gimmick was being the Batman villain Black Mask?
I think he looks like Roman Reigns. I really don't.
He looks like a chunky Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. Jinder Mahal's a funny story. He went from a jobber, and then he got absolutely juiced
Shredded.
to the gills giant. And then he was champion, and everyone's like, hey, we still don't care. Like,
I
hey,
remember
he's
that.
big, but we never liked him. Now he's the champion.
MC Spunky, there he is.
CM Punk's UFC run was
L's.
absolutely ungodly abysmal.
Two
It was
L's.
2 fights, 2 beatings. Just ass beatings.
Get back here, boy!
It was like... It was almost like if you threw me in a cage fight right now. I'm just getting my ass beat. Like, I understand very basic concepts, but I have no ability to put them together.
Yeah.
I'm just getting rocked in the corner.
All I can think of is...
He jumped onto a standing opponent and wrapped his legs around him like a kid. Like, he ran up and jumped, wrapped his legs and arms around the guy. But he just kind of hopped up onto him, and the guy kind of shimmied him off. He was like, what are you doing?
All I can think of is that video where it's Jesus fighting Judas. He beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
That's all you can think of at all. In the whole world.
Whatever you say beat down, that's the beat down in my head.
The beat down in your head is Judas.
That
I almost
ethereal
bought the
snake
Action
video.
Bible today.
The Action Bible?
Yeah, I was at Walmart.
What's that?
It's the Bible, but it's a comic book.
That sounds fucking awesome.
I wanted to get it, but it was $30.
And I ain't giving $30 to Jesus.
I know I'm not gonna read that whole thing. I mean,
how big is it?
It's the Bible.
Oh shit! Like the whole thing?
It's the whole Bible.
Damn. This
Well,
shit
I guess
probably
everything they can put into a a comic book. Dude, it's Shaq, and he's talking about epic stuffed crust Papa
He's talking
John's
about epic
pizza.
rap battles of history.
It's funny that Shaquille O'Neal will be on a Papa John's commercial after what Papa said about Shaq's.
What do you say?
He said bad things about Shaq's race.
Oh.
He said
no.
He said the word. Papa did.
Oh no way!
Yeah, Papa John said the N-word.
He ate too much of his own pizza. Do you remember? What was it during quarantine?
He ate only pizza.
He ate only
Papa John's.
They took pictures of him, and he looked like a fucking greased up maniac.
Because all he ate was Papa John's and said the N-word.
He looked like you could just like touch his. You'd see if you wiped your finger on this dude's cheek, you could see where the grease was.
Yeah, you could write your name in him.
Yeah, exactly.
Squidward smells
good.
That's what you could do on his face. But yeah, Papa said some choice
I'm surprised
things.
people say bad things to Shaq at all.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily to Shaq. It's just Shaq was of the race.
Why doesn't Shaq just run him down and like fuck him up?
I don't think Shaq knows about it. If I'm being honest with you, I think Shaq's in his own little Shacky world.
Yeah, where everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Shaq
and he just eats like New York style pizza all day.
Dude, I want the New York style pizza right now.
Me too. I would crush someone with a car. Not to say, I mean, I'm not going to implicate myself in crimes that may or may not have happened. But let's just say I might have already.
You're incriminating yourself. You didn't even say pizza.
Listen, guys, this is off the record. This is off the record, okay? You cannot use this as evidence against me in a court of law. You found me in a vulnerable position, and if you use this, you're exploiting me.
But you didn't even say for a pizza. You said, I would crush a human with a car.
There's nothing wrong. Listen, accidents happen, okay? You know, I mean, if I'm driving down the road, right?
They really don't.
And I see someone who really grinds my gears. Is it my fault if I accidentally hit the curb, go over it, and then smash them like a bug under my four-wheel drive, Dodge Ram?
They just pop.
They pop like a little meat blister.
They pop like a tick. They just explode around
it into bones, like an old Mortal Kombat finisher. Yeah, literally, it's just like that. It's incredible.
If you did that to somebody, I'm sure that would be incriminating.
Yeah, I'm sure. A good thing I didn't actually do that to somebody.
Shaq would reach his hand through your sunroof, pull you out of it, and then slam you onto the ground by your head.
You go.
Yeah, he picks you up and he smashes you into a pancake, and he throws like a frisbee across town.
Into the sun.
He's like a twinkle in the sky after you go. He goes in the sky and just ting! God. That's what Shaq does.
I really like the idea of people like that being just cartoon characters, like The Rock.
That's what Shaq does to people who commit vehicular manslaughter.
Specifically that crime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other crimes he does different things.
Shaq is the patron. Because he was Steel after all. Yeah. He had that movie where he was Steel. John Henry Irons, one of the handful of people to replace Superman after he died.
I'm pretty sure Shaq was in a wrestling match at some point.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like Shaq was part of the
storyline. Steve-O got fucked up by Unaga.
Yeah.
In the ring. It was Steve-O and Chris Pontius, I think, that came out. He has a clip of it on his channel where he reacts to getting his ass kicked.
Umaga just came out and beat the shit out of him?
Yeah. No, I think Umaga was coming out... I can't remember the sequence of events, but I remember he was talking shit, and then Umaga just, fucked him up.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah, listen, you gotta put Steve-O in his place sometimes. He's too much crushing out there.
Well, yeah, before he crushes.
He says, Umaga, you better get out here before I crush your little beam.
He threatens to crush Umaga's beam.
Yeah, and then Umaga fucking comes out. Oh!
Dude, Burger King has a new Mexican chicken sandwich.
Have you ever tried the Impossible Whopper?
No, I have not.
It's pretty good.
I've never been huge on the Impossible meats. I've tried them and they're okay. They're fine, but I've never really caught on to them. I like meat a lot. I'm not a vegetarian.
I like meat a lot too. I just like trying shit.
I've tried it. I mean, I've tried other Impossible meats and they're fine. But when it comes down to it, the nitty gritty, I just want meat.
I forgot that Ronda Rousey was in the WWE for a time.
She crushed beef in the WWE.
That doesn't surprise me.
She got really mad because she came out in the crowd. She was a face, and the crowd booed the shit out of her.
Damn.
Relentlessly. And then she got really mad, turned heel, and then it kind of worked out again, then she left.
Oh, okay.
To the UFC whenever she lost to Holly Holm, and then threw a fucking hissy fit for a year and a half. Wouldn't fight anyone. I think after that she came back and fought Amanda Nunes and got absolutely violated.
And now she just probably rides off of that, huh?
Now she just knows that she was one of the best ever, and then she wasn't.
You would think that she would go back to pro wrestling in some capacity.
I'm sure that she might still be there. I just don't think she's currently in the WWE.
Oh yeah.
But it was successful. She'd probably go to AEW or something.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I want to see Brock Lesnar back in the UFC.
Ronda Rousey feels like one of those people who could just like ride off of it just because of the popularity she already had.
I mean, she was one of the pioneers of the women's division, and she was just this absolute jiu-jitsu machine. Then she decided to try to strike with a former women's championship boxer and kickboxer, and lo and behold, she got kicked in the face and went unconscious. And then she just never rebounded from that. I don't know why you do that. You're like, oh man, I'm a better wrestler than him. He's an elite boxer. I'm just gonna stand up with him, I guess. And
So I'm just gonna like try and punch him.
So you get hit in the head so hard that you can't stand anymore.
You get your ears boxed and your head shoots in all sorts of directions.
All of a sudden, there are three of the referee, and you're trying to grab his ankle.
Oh,
I was like, when people get knocked out so bad that whenever they kind of come to a little bit, they try to shoot on the ref, like. They grab a leg and the ref's like, hey.
You know what's always fucking crazy to me? Whenever someone just, like, they get, like, a killer punch or something, or a kick, and they just get their shit rocked, they just slump over.
Yeah, it's
a
dumb.
fucking sack of potatoes.
They fall apart. There's
That's wild.
Diego Sanchez, he tried to kick a dude. Dude caught the kick, put his hand on Diego's face, held it there, and then went boom and dropped an elbow.
Oh!
And he dropped an elbow into Diego, and then he just went limp, like
damn,
just out. Like the guy, because when he went unconscious, the dude let go of the leg. One leg was under him bent, the other leg was out front, and he was just leaning like he was stretching. Or a dude gets knocked out so bad, they go into fencing position, and they just like,
oh yeah, they just they're still trying.
Hard, and their eyes are open real wide. They're like, they're trying to breathe.
Why did you do that?
That's what they do. You can see their mouth going.
Bro, when we get reverted to infancy.
They're like suckling on their mouthpiece. The motherly teeth of the referee.
Yeah, they always have referees who are lactating for just such a scenario.
Just
Just
Herb Dean sitting there
Herb
leaking.
Dean takes out a tit.
Big John McCarthy takes out his absolute milker and drops it straight in the guy's face. He's like,
see, you like that, baby?
It wakes him back up. He like squeezes it out.
They got that resuscitating milk.
Yeah, he squeezes it out into his wrist. He like tastes it to make sure it's not too hot. And then he just like, alright, go to town, big man. Wake up. Milky time.
You made me snort. You son of a bitch.
You guys made me ink.
You guys made me stink.
No. You made a stink. You never make a man stink.
Do you know better than to make a boy stink, don't you?
I'm sleepy.
Fuck me too. It's been a good one. This is one of the ones I think that I've had the most fun recording. It's just shooting the shit.
We only kind of stayed on topic with wrestling.
Yeah, listen, we were talking about fighting the whole time.
Yeah, it was something along the lines, and then Shaq, but yeah, Shaq and Papa John.
Shaq has his way in any conversation.
Shaq plays basketball. So does Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was in the WWE.
He was?
Or WCW. Yeah, he was part
That's close enough.
He's part of a storyline with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He was in the New World Order.
And then Booker T says...
Then Booker T says it.
If you guys haven't seen it, please look up a clip of Booker T feuding with Hulk Hogan. It's him and his cronies. And he says some really choice words. And then he immediately realizes what he has said. And he's like, shit! He doesn't
Hulk
say
Hogan,
anything.
We're coming for you, blank. And then
he's like...
Said. He's like, oh.
He like face palms.
Remember when Vince McMahon said the end where he's like talking to John Cena, he's like, keep it up.
Oh no.
Booker T goes, tell me he did not just say that.
I don't remember.
You ever seen that? Vince McMahon he did on like live television.
Oh, that's wild.
It was like with an A. He was talking to John
different
Cena.
Times, bro. Different times.
Yeah, wow.
Holy shit.
It was really never okay.
No.
But he's so rich that no one could tell him otherwise.
It's never been okay, but like then it was like slightly more so. Yeah.
Who's gonna tell Vince McMahon what to do?
Yeah, Vince McMahon, richest, whitest man I've ever seen. Except for like Lex Luthor.
McVincent, McKennedy, McMahon.
I think another thing that helped our enjoyment was not only the video games.
The video games did a lot.
Video games, WWE Network, and YouTube poops. That was our shit.
There's some good YouTube poops on WWE stuff. There's some really good ones, especially relating to Paul Heyman or The Rock.
Lol, Heyman. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun this episode. It's a shorter one, but it's sometimes you need that. You know, you have your short ones, you have your long ones. But yeah, so it's been a great time, guys.
It's been fun.
And we'll catch you guys later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.